Today, we're going to talk about something that's really near and dear to my heart because I've gone through it, and now I want to help you ladies and any gentlemen listening for their ladies through the issue of endometriosis, PCOS, and balancing your hormones naturally. I'm really excited. I'm already tripping over my words because I want to tell you about the 8 steps that I went through to heal my PCOS, endometriosis, and balance my hormones that are working for me. And this works for all my clients to date. And I love this program, and I want to give you just the 8 steps for free, transparent, walk you through them. So let's talk about what is going on in women's health that either you yourself or a lady that you know is struggling with PCOS, endometriosis, or hormone imbalance. This is not normal. Our cycles are not meant to be painful. We're not supposed to have these outrageous mood swings and these times of our month where we feel miserable. That is not normal. And I think how many of us ladies have been told, yep, it's just that time, or this is how all the women in my family have dealt with it. Let me set the record straight here. It's not normal, and we have to change how we're dealing with our health when it comes to our hormone balance. So what do we have to do? We need to look at our bodies functionally. In this video series, this is probably going to take 2 parts because there's 8 steps. It's quite a bit. We need to treat our bodies holistically and functionally. I'm just going to talk about the physical steps more or less, but to every physical ailment, illness that we have a spiritual problem as well. We have an emotional root cause, and then there's a mental root cause as well. So I'm going to go through the physical. It will kind of pull in some of the other aspects, but just know this video is really limited. And if you want all 8 steps at once and you want a little bit of deeper dive into each one of the 8 steps, go to my blog, middaypigeon.com. I've already released the article. It's all 8 steps. You can take a sneak peek before we get to part 2. Okay, so how do we go through healing hormone imbalance in the body? Well, when we scrape our arm or say we sprain our wrist, we don't have to tell our bodies how to heal. We don't have to say, okay, I need you to form a scab, and then I need you, to heal new skin, or when you sprain your wrist, we're not in there instructing our bodies, giving it, pharmaceuticals or chemicals or whatever to fix the problem. We just simply, we give it a support by maybe a wrist support, or we just keep the area clean and dry. Our body works the same way with internal issues like PCOS, endometriosis. It is really great when we can go to our physician and they well-meaningly give us a pharmaceutical to help with our symptoms, but we're not actually addressing the root cause and healing the problem within our body. So we have to look at the body holistically, functionally. We have to totally revamp the inner terrain of our body and start with the root cause and what is going on in our bodies to fully wipe out the PCOS, the endometriosis, the hormonal imbalance, the pathogens, everything. These are all linked, and I'll get to this as we work through the series. So number 1, how can we begin to address our hormone imbalances? We have to look at food as medicine, and I know that you all knew I was going to say that, so I thought I would just leave it as number 1 because you knew I was going to talk about it. So what foods? Okay, what is the first step if you're listening to this and you're like, I have no idea where to start, but I know that I suffer from 1 or all 3 of these conditions. What can you do? Let's look at the foods that are not actually supposed to be in our diets. That is gluten, dairy, soy, corn, MSG, all of these things. They're causing inflammation in the body, and on top of that, they are creating an environment that is perfect for pathogens. Pathogens can proliferate when we have inflammation in the body. We have toxic chemical exposure, foods in our body, just the ideal environment. So getting rid of those 3 things that are also, soy can be a big issue if you're dealing with endometriosis and hormone imbalance. So look at your diet and see, where can I remove those things from my diet? Also, what can you bring in? So we have to make this diet healing for your body. And besides doing a lot of plant-based raw living foods, that is what we need to heal the body. We need to bring in foods in the brassica family. So broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, leafy greens, collard greens. Bring all of those foods in. Do at dinner, you want to do a steamed dish with potatoes and just tons of the brassica family greens, because those are going to help your liver flush out the extra estrogens, the chemicals, all the toxins that if you're really changing your diet to a healing diet, you're going to be flushing out in large amounts, and you need to support your digestive system in eliminating them. And you can do that with food. And then also looking at buying organic as much as you can, or just if you're juicing or doing smoothies, maybe what you're putting in those food dishes, buy organic. So buy organic whatever you're juicing, or peel it or wash it, and then your smoothies you can do all organic, and that will help lower your glyphosate load. Number 2, what can you do? Balance your blood sugars. And this is where I had it all wrong for a long time. I thought doing a keto diet or a really high protein, high fat diet was going to help my blood sugar balance. And at first it does. And this is what gets tricky. So we go on a keto diet or just a ton of animal products and fats, and magically we no longer have the blood sugar issues. Everything feels good, our numbers look good. But then what happens when we go eat a banana or a sweet potato, our blood sugar spikes through the roof, we feel shaky, and then we blame the carbohydrate source, when in reality, our bodies need carbohydrate as their number 1 source of fuel. That's what we need. We need glucose and carbohydrates from plant-based real food sources. And we have to have those in our diets to balance our blood sugar. So really what we need to do is we need to lower down the animal products. We need to bring down the fats, and we need to increase, against what you've probably been told your whole life, increase your carbohydrate intake, increase your plant-based glucose, fruit, sweet potatoes, squash, berries, all of it, dates, honey, it is all magical for healing your body. And this is a healing diet. This isn't a bodybuilder's diet, something that you're looking for to cut and make muscle gains. You will lose weight and you will still keep your muscle, and you will heal your body at the same time. So it's really, really important, by balancing your blood sugars, you're first and foremost healing your kidneys and your liver, because that will help. And you will do that with all of these steps. And then second, you are eating when your kidneys are weak and you're not balancing your blood sugar appropriately. You need to be eating every 2 to 3 hours during the day that you're awake. And then once you've strengthened your internal organs, you can intermittent fast and go 12, 14, 16, 20 hours. I wouldn't recommend going over 20 very regularly. And that will help a ton, because then your body can balance the cortisol levels and you're not fighting against all these different components that are going to wreak havoc on your blood sugars. So think, eat every 2 to 3 hours, glucose-rich foods, don't starve your body of carbohydrates. That is actually driving your cortisol up, and that is going to throw off your sex hormones, and then that is what is giving you the irregular menses, the low libido, the hair loss, this acne, all of the problems you're seeing with endometriosis, PCOS, and hormone imbalance really can be traced back to what we're putting in our bodies with our food. And then, so with your blood sugar, think every 2 to 3 hours, build up to intermittent fasting. That will help you, and then keep your foods glucose rich. And number 3, our jobs, our stress, our lifestyle. Bottom line, what does your stress look like in your body? We think that, and I'm guilty of this, a high-paying job, a really busy lifestyle, a night out, we think, oh, it's worth it. I'm just gonna, like, this one time, or just keep this job for this amount of time, or just until I can make these changes. But nothing is more important than your health, because then you won't have your health. You won't have, and I'm speaking from experience, you won't have that body to take you to that job. And you'll be sitting your butt on the couch for 5 months if you don't address this now. Or you won't have the energy to go out with your friends unless you take a step back and go upstream and you fix the problem. It's not going to get better by ignoring it. It's not going to get better by masking a symptom with a pill. And we have to address the root cause, because without your health, we don't have anything. And that's where we have to start. So stress levels in your life, because we know stress drives up cortisol. Cortisol is going to affect what we just talked about, our blood sugars, our sex hormones, and then contribute to all our hormonal imbalance. So find, if you're listening to this and this is resonating with you, write down a couple aspects of your life that you know are most stressful. So maybe it's work, family, school, friends, a toxic relationship, and then write those down and then make tangible outcome steps to how you can lower your stress. and then stick to those because they're really, really important. And then later in life, after it probably won't take you long if you follow these 8 steps to correct these imbalances in your body. And then later you can go back and you can increase your stress. You can, take a heavier load in school. You can pick up hours at your job, but you have to address your health first. And addressing your hormone imbalance is the #1 thing to put all the other systems back into play. Because we don't have to tell our bodies how to heal, we just have to give them what they need to support the healing along the way. So we just talked about food, balancing blood sugars, and our stress management. I'm going to cover the rest of the 5 steps in the next video. If you want to see all the steps, all 8 steps in the blog post, go to middaypigeon.com. The blog post is already out. And if you feel like you need in-person support and support for your healing, if you're in Kansas City, we have an event coming up in January, the 24th. We have a ladies' night. We're going to talk all about hormone imbalance. We're going to supply the food that you need to learn about how you should be eating and nourishing your body to heal. We're going to do an organic beauty bar. We're going to talk about all the chemicals and makeup and perfumes and everything we're putting on our bodies and happy alternatives. And then we're going to go through some power sheets and goal settings on how can we actually take our lives and then move things around and manage, especially our stress, and listen to our bodies and what we need to do to heal. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you want more information, go to the blog. If you want to focus on beyond the physical aspects of healing and get into emotional, spiritual, and mental, drop a comment below and we'll be sure to make another video about that. But until next week, be thinking about these 3 steps, and then we will cover the other 5 in part 2.